Hi friends, today we'll look at two topics. एक है जो assertion reasoning है, वो काफी लोगों को हमेशा दिक्कत होती है कि assertion reasoning कैसे करें. We'll talk about some of the techniques. And दूसरा है जो case studies है, case studies को approach कैसे करनी है. So these are questions that take a little, they look a little long because you have to read and understand, right? But fairly easy to solve. तो case studies को approach कैसे करनी है, I think I will talk about this using 2 or 3 of the old sample paper questions as the case studies. Okay. तो पहला है कि assertion reasoning. Assertion reasoning में what is it that we have? हमें दो statements दिए गए हैं, right? One statement is what we call it the assertion statements. A, let's say, right? This is assertion. This is one statement. Then R is the other statement, which is the reason statement. This is another reason statement. Okay. And you have to basically identify 2 or 3 things, right? If you look at the instructions, you will realize कि आपको check करना है कि number 1, is this true? Is A true? Is A true? Right? Is A true? Is R true? Right? And we have to find out whether R is the reason why A is true. Right? Basically, this is what. So there are instructions that will tell you that A is true, but R is false. A is false, R is true. A is true, R is true, and R is the reason for A. A is true, R is true, but R is not the reason for A. Right? Neither of them are true. Right? These are the broad statements that you'll have. So आपका approach क्या होनी चाहिए? पहला चीज, right? आप चेक करोगे कि statement A true है या नहीं. So you have to find out whether the statement A is true or not. Two, whether it is true or not, you please note down. If it is true, note it down as true, right? If it is false, note it down as false. Then you go to statement R. अगर again आपको ये check करनी है कि true or false. अगर let's say that both of them are not true, right? You will straight away find that one of the instructions, this is true, this is false, this is true, this is false, both of them are false, right? ऐसे आराम से आ जाएगा. But when both of them are true, आपको check करना होगा कि एक और केस का क्या statement A is true because of statement B. जैसे imagine कि आप step लिख रहे हो, आप हमेशा ये लिखते हो कि since, right? तो ये since वाला statement में, right? Right? Since वाला statement में क्या statement R आ सकता है क्या? Right? So that is what you need to. If so, this is statement A and this is statement R, then you will say that yes, statement A is true, statement R is true, and R is the reason for statement A. तो ये बहुत सिंपल सा रूल है. आपको आपको कभी भी कंफ्यूजन नहीं आएगा. तो लेट्स टेक ए लुक एट क्वेश्चंस. पहला स्टेटमेंट कह रहा है, if the product of two numbers is 5780 and their HCF is 17, then their LCM is so much. Now you need to check one principle. We know that product of two numbers, let's say the two numbers are A and B, product of the two numbers is given by LCM of A comma B multiplied by HCF of A comma B. Right? Remember, this is valid only for two numbers. इसमें अगर 3 numbers होंगे, तो please don't make this error of writing it in this form. तो इससे हमारा आंसर आएगा, if you put this is 5780 and HCF is given. So obviously you will find that you divide 5780 by 17, you will get this answer as 340. So this is definitely true. ठीक है, अब मैं I'll go to second statement and always just look at it second statement independently. क्या HCF is always a factor of LCM? 100%, right? HCF is a factor of LCM. HCF is a factor of both the numbers and my multiple of those numbers will also be divisible by HCF. So AB true है. Now you need to check कि ये दोनों true है. Now I want to know whether R is the reason for A. It's not, right? It is not because I mean, this is true. Why is this true? It is true because of this reason. Suppose you have two prime numbers, p1 to the power of 3 into p2 to the power of 5, let's say this is A and this is B is P1 to the power of 4 into P2 to the power of 3, right? अगर A दोनों होते, right? So if you do A into B, आपको आएगा कि P1 to the power of 3 plus 4 into P2 to the power of 5 plus 3. Now अगर आप सिर्फ LCM लोगे, right? So you would take the higher of the two numbers, LCM of A comma B is equal to P1 to the power of 4 and P2 to the power of 5. The higher of the two powers, and HCF will be the lower of the two powers लेके आप करोगे, you will get P1 cube into P2 to the power of 3. तो obviously इन दोनों के जब आप multiply करोगे, you're going to get product of the two numbers will be equal to this. So that is the reason, not because HCF is always a factor. So इसका मतलब हमारा आंसर क्या है? Both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. So ये वाला हो गया आंसर. तो चले अगला क्वेश्चन देखें. आराम से पढ़ो आप. Let me draw the figure -3, -3 and यहाँ पे होगा 3, 5. Right, let's say that this is the okay. So this is our A, B, and C, and this is the points D and E. So वो कह रहा है कि BC का वैल्यू 20 होनी चाहिए. What is the other one mentioned? This is the midpoints, which means these two are equal. These two are equal. So let's find out the length of the point DE. Right? So DE, since D and E are the midpoints, DE we know by basic proportionality theorem will be half of BC. So I find that the value of DE is nothing but 6 squared plus 8 squared, which is equal to 20. So if DE is, DE is 10, right? DE is 10. If DE is 10, then we know that the value of BC will be equal to 20. So a true statement. The line joining the midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side and equal to half of it. So AB true statement hai. And you know that the reason why this is true is हमने bracket में लिखा है because of basic proportionality theorem, which is statement R. Hence, you can see that both assertion A and R are true, and reason R is the correct explanation of this. So ये वाला ठीक है. अगला. The distance formula between 2 points x1 y1 and x2 y2 in a coordinate plane is given by this. This is true, obviously. The line joining any 2 points is the hypotenuse of a right angle triangle whose sides are the line itself, a side parallel to the x-axis and a side parallel to the y-axis. So basically, he's basically saying if you join 2 points, right, this will be the hypotenuse of a triangle formed by, right, where 3 sides, where one side is parallel to the x-axis, right, parallel to x-axis, and this is parallel to y-axis. तो ये obviously y hypotenuse का है, ठीक है. तो ये भी सही है. So the reason why this distance between these 2 points is root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y squared is basically because of this fact that it happens to be the hypotenuse. तो क्योंकि तब हम कह रहे हैं कि अगर a है b है, ये जो length होगा that will be root of a squared plus b squared. And what is it that I know? A will be equal to x2 minus x1 and b will be equal to y2 minus y1. That's how you get these lengths, and hence I would say that even in this case A is the correct statement. So आपको दोनों अलग-अलग से check करनी है. You want to know whether they are true or not. Once both of them are true, then only you apply the rule कि क्या the second statement is the reason for the first statement being correct. Okay, take a minute to solve this. I mean, read this. Okay, the median of the numbers is 20. right? I need to find out whether this is true or not. Second statement is if n is the odd number, the median is the n plus 1th term. This is true if the numbers are in ascending or descending order, right? The median is the absolutely this. So this is obviously true. So let me check whether the first one is true. So if I take the first one, I can put and say that 5. Let me arrange them in ascending order: 5, 9, 12, 19, 20, 22. Then you have uh, 5, 7, 12, 19, 20, right? Then we have 22. Then you have 20, 30, 35 and 45. Okay. So इसमें कितने है? There are about 9 numbers, right? The median of this is 20. This is not the median. Sorry, this is, uh, yeah. So this is the 5th term, right? So this is the middle number, right? Middle number. So the middle number is, of course, the median, right? And what is the middle number? It's a 5th number. And what is the 5th number given by? 5th number will be given because n is odd. You'll find that the 5th number would be equal to 9 plus 1 by 2 or 5. That's how we get the 5th number. So this is also true. This is also true. So the statement B, statement A would be your correct answer. So दोनों सही है और पहला वाला जो क्यों सही है क्योंकि दूसरा वाला is the definition that हम लोग use करते हैं to find out the median. So ये हुआ आपके रीजनिंग वाले क्वेश्चन, असेशन रीजनिंग. सो सिंपल सा मेथड है जस्ट टू समराइज. आप पहला स्टेटमेंट चेक करो सही है कि नहीं. सेकंड स्टेटमेंट यू चेक वेदर इट इज करेक्ट और नॉट, एंड देन यू ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट. और इन दोनों को रिलेट करके आप ये चेक करो और यू विल चेक वेदर द फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट इज ट्रू बिकॉज ऑफ द रीजन that is given in the second statement. So the second statement is the reason for your first statement, right? So if that is the case, then you will mark A as the option. Otherwise, you will mark the appropriate option. So काफी आसान है. Don't get worried about it. नाउ केस स्टडीज में क्या है? केस स्टडीज में नॉर्मली कोई स्टोरी होती है. मैंने इससे आगे वाला कुछ कुछ स्टोरी मैंने हटा दिया जहां पे वो फुटबॉल की बात कर रहे हैं. दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट फुटबॉल, दे आर सेइंग इट्स अ फील्ड एंड देयर दीस आर पीपल ए बी सी डी ई एफ फॉर द players, right? And there are people who are midfielders. F, E, N, G, A, B, C, D are forwards, and H, I, J are goalkeeper. I mean, defenders, and K is the goalkeeper. So ये दिया हुआ है and their positions on their side is given. So the entire thing has been now broken down, right? And it is note that the origin is not at the center of the field, but it's a little away from it. So I make what are the things that we must check. Now in case studies, you might want to say कि sir, it 5 questions है, 5 mark के लिए मुझे बहुत कुछ करना पड़ेगा. Whenever there is an MCQ, there's always a lot of guessing that you can do. Guessing nahi, estimation. So let me show you. The coordinates of the centroid of EHJ are. So you know that if 3 points x1, y1, x2, y2, and x3, y3 are there, right? Their centroid is given by x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3 and y1 plus y2 plus y3 by 3. So this will be the. Now let's see. We want to find out the centroid of the points EHJ. So there's a H here, there's a E here, and there's a J here, right? And I can see that the x1 plus x2 plus x3 is obviously going to be negative. So मुझे straight away I'll say ये दोनों तो हो ही नहीं सकते, right? And then I can see that EHJ, right? If I take y1 plus y2 plus y3, I can see very clearly it has to be positive. So ये भी नहीं हो सकता. So answer होगा ये. In fact, आप बिल्कुल you can calculate and see this will be the answer. So this point is 2, 2. This point is going to be minus 2, 4. And J is going to be minus 2, minus 2. So if I add up all this, you'll get 2 by 3. Minus 2 by 3 right? X1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3 is minus 2 by 3, and then y1 plus y2 plus y3 by 3 is equal to, so sorry, this is minus 2 comma 4, 2 comma minus 2 comma 1, right? 2 comma 1. Okay, so you have 4 minus 2, 4 plus 1 minus 2, which is equal to uh, 3 divided by 3, that gives you the answer. So you see that the correct answer is going to be this. So आपको basically, your ability to use the choices is very critical. अगर चारों choices दिया हुआ है, multiple choice दिया हुआ है, please make use of the choices. अगला क्वेश्चन क्या कह रहा है? If a player P needs to be at equal distances from A and G. A कहाँ पे है? यहाँ पे है, right? This is where A is, and this is where G is. And APG are in a straight line, which means basically he's saying that if I join the lines A and G, you find P has to be the midpoint. So I can see that, I mean, midpoint or x1 plus, so if this is, it has to be x1 plus xa plus xg by 2 and ya plus yg by 2, right? We can see that xa plus xg has to be positive because uh, both of them are on the right of this. So I need both of them positive. So A wala to hat jayega. Okay. Now I don't need to even bother to check. Now if I take the value of y also I think is positive. This is greater distance than this. Y1 plus y2, right? Ya plus yb is going to be positive. So my answer kya hona chahiye? It has to be obviously this. This cannot be an answer because here y is positive. See, I am not doing any calculation, but I can still get the answer by guessing the answer. So this is how you will actually, because it is multiple choice, आपको सब कुछ लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. You will find it easy to solve. The point on x-axis equidistant from I and E is I is here, E is here. The point on the x-axis, right? So somewhere here it has to be, इसका जो point है, it will always be on your perpendicular bisector, right? So I can think of this perpendicular bisector, the value of x coordinate has to be definitely more than 0. So this is out, this is out, this is out. So this can be the only answer. And secondly, आप ये भी कह सकते हो, on the x-axis, the y coordinates cannot be half or 1 by 2. It has to be 0. तो उससे भी आप सोच सकते थे कि ये दोनों हो नहीं सकता, right? Question number 4. What are the coordinates of the position? What are the coordinates of the position of a player Q such that his distance from K is twice his distance from E and K? Q and E are collinear. So his distance from K is twice his distance from E, and then we have K, Q, E are collinear. So basically you have K, Q and E. So Q कहीं पे बीच में इन दोनों के बीच में है. So what are the coordinates of the point such that his distance from K is twice the distance from this. So there are 2 points that are possible. एक होगा internal, एक दूसरा होगा external. आप सोच सकते हो के यहाँ पे भी हो सकता था. Sorry, Q यहाँ पे भी हो सकता. ठीक है? Because this distance can be twice of this distance. But where we are concerned, we are only focusing on the point Q here, where this distance and this distance, if you compare, it is, so which means this is dividing it in the ratio 2:1. Okay. Now, I know if it is 2:1, पहले चीज है कि the value of y has to be -1, right? Sorry, it has to be 1. So this cannot be answer, this cannot be an answer. The second thing is this distance is 2 and this distance is 4. So if I'm talking about this ratio is 2:1. So the correct answer has to be 0. So, I mean, if you start guessing the answers, if you look at the choices, आपको इस question 5 questions करने में आपको 5 मिनट से ज्यादा नहीं लगना चाहिए. The point on y-axis equidistant from B and C, right? B यहाँ पे है, B यहाँ पे है, C यहाँ पे है. तो equidistant point on y-axis. So y-axis का point यहाँ पे कहीं होगा. So obviously I can see that the y coordinate has to be greater than 0. So this cannot be your answer. This cannot be your answer. This cannot be your answer. It has to be this answer. So ये हुआ अपना 5 क्वेश्चन वाला केस स्टडी, जिससे मैं कह रहा हूं कि अगर एमसीक्यू है, यू हैव टू मेक श्योर कि ये जो प्रोसेस ऑफ सॉल्विंग इट, राइट, यू हैव टू यूज चॉइसेस टू सॉल्व इट. तो अगला केस स्टडी उसको भी देखते हैं. ये फिगर alongside shows the path of a driver when she takes a jump from the diving board. Clearly it's a parabola. Annie was standing on the diving board 48 feet above the water. She took a dive. Her height above the water level at any time is given by this parabola. What is the value of k? तो अगर मैं t is equal to 0, if I put at t is equal to 0, the position of k, right? So it is above the water level, right? The height has to be 48. So which means k has to be 48. At t is equal to 0, k has to be 48 feet. Okay. Hence your answer has to be 48. Second, at what time will she touch the water in the pool? Okay, अगला क्वेश्चन देखते हैं. इस क्वेश्चन में we have ht है. At what time will she touch? ये तो हमने 48 देख लिया. At what time will she touch the pool? When she touches the pool, our height is going to be 0. And so we want to find out basically this 80t plus 48. इसका क्या solution है? So, so let me, if I simplified it, this becomes 2t squared minus t minus 6 equal to 0. Right? So you can see quite clearly if I put t is equal to 2, right? You will get the answer. So at this point in time, just go to the choice, check which of these choices will give you the answer. T is equal to 2 will give me the answer. Rita's height is in feet above the water level is given by another polynomial pt with zeros as -1 and 2. Then what is the value of pt? So so if I want to find out Rita's feet, right? So I can say that the polynomial could be, right, t plus 1 into t minus 2, right? That could be the polynomial. Ideally, it could be anything that is a multiple of this polynomial. So you'll get k into some t squared minus t plus 1 plus, sorry, minus 2, right? This could be, now k can take any value and give you this polynomial. So अगर मैं k का value -24 लूं, right? k का value माइनस होना चाहिए. तो ये इनफैक्ट ये सारे तीनों हम निकाल सकते हैं, क्योंकि whenever you see a inverted parabola वो ऐसे ही होना चाहिए. So inverted parabola का a का वैल्यू जो है नेगेटिव होगा. So आपको कुछ भी करने की जरूरत नहीं, यहाँ पे सीधा आप कह सकते थे कि आंसर डी ही होगा आंसर, राइट? क्योंकि यहाँ पे पॉजिटिव है, पॉजिटिव है, पॉजिटिव है, सिर्फ इसमें नेगेटिव है. इसका मतलब the parabola will be in this direction. So you could have straight away answered that without doing any calculation. Agla question. A polynomial qt with sum of zeros at 1 and the product as -6. Sum of the zeros is 1 and the product of is -6 is modeling Anu's height in feet above the ground water at any point. Then what is the qt? So same karo. It can be only this. अच्छा, ये वाला problem देखते हैं. A polynomial QT with sum of the zeros is 1 and the product is -6 is modeling anusoid. So I can think about this as x squared. So sum of the zeros is 1, इसका मतलब यहाँ पे आएगा अपना -x and product is -6. So this will be equal to -6. So t squared minus t. So this is your it's a function of t, right? qt का मतलब it's a function of t. वेरिएबल जो है वो t में लिखना चाहिए, x में नहीं लिखोगे. तो यहाँ पे क्या होगा, k का वैल्यू इन्वर्टेड, आई मीन इट्स ए इन्वर्टेड पैराबोला, तो k का नेगेटिव होगा आंसर. तो which of these can be the answer? I can see very clearly that if I put k is equal to -8, I will get this as the expression. So the other way to do it is you can see that this is a inverted parabola and इसका मतलब आपका जो a का वैल्यू है नेगेटिव होनी चाहिए, तो ये नहीं हो सकता आंसर, a भी नहीं हो सकता, a भी नहीं हो सकता. सो आंसर होगा सिर्फ ये. सो ऑब्वियसली अगर आप चॉइसेस को, if you take a very close look at the choice and you're very careful with your choice observation, you will straight away, you would have saved so much time while answering this question. अगला क्वेश्चन है, the zeros of the polynomial are given by this are negative of each other, which means एक अगर minus alpha है, दूसरा alpha है. That is what it means, right? So we have product of the roots is minus alpha squared will be equal to -4. So alpha squared is equal to 4, which means alpha could be plus or -2. So it doesn't matter whether you take alpha as +2 or -2. So, however, the moment I see this, I also know that the sum of the roots. So this is the product. अगर मैं sum of the roots choose करूं, sum of the roots अगर ऐसा है, sum of the roots 0 होनी चाहिए. तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ है कि k minus 3 has to be equal to 0. तो k must be equal to 3. तो हमें k की, we have to find out k. So had you gone and checked the uh, sum of the roots first, sum of the roots happens to be 0, that hence b has to be 0. So that would have given you the answer straight away as k minus 3 equal to 0, hence k is equal to 3. तो इसमें alpha पता करने की जरूरत नहीं है, right? But I was just talking about doing the alpha just for your academic interest. अगला question. This is not more like a case study, but I think जहां पे भी story दिया जाएगा, it's a problem statement that you've been given, long statement, आपको हमेशा you feel that it's more difficult, but it's not difficult. इस question में the school auditorium must be constructed to accommodate 1500 people. The chairs are placed in concentric circular arrangements in such a way that each succeeding circular row has 10 seats more than the previous one. Okay. So in the first row, there are 30 seats. How many seats will be there in the 10th row? So your first row is 30. The next row is going to be 30 plus 10, 40, 50, so on. So if I look at the first question, the answer will be A10 will be equal to 30 plus 9 into 10 is equal to 120 seats. Second question, 1500 seats in the auditorium. How many rows need to be added? So इसको ये करते हैं, हमें चाहिए 1500. How many rows are needed? So if I look at this expression n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d, this value must be, I mean, it has to be just greater than or equal to 1500. Why do we put greater than equal to? हो सकता है कि this sequence will never end in perfect 1500. But हो सकता है 1520 हो, 1530 हो. But मुझे अगर 1500 seats चाहिए, this summation of all the n rows must definitely be more than 1500, more than or equal to. So we know the value of a is 30. So ये क्या होगा? N by 2 into 60 plus n minus 1 into 10 is greater than or equal to 1500. So this becomes okay. 30n plus 5n squared minus 5n greater than or equal to 1500. So n squared plus 5n is greater than or equal to 300. So we can actually check the values of n and plug it here, right? If you put n is equal to 17, right? N is equal to 16, n is equal to 15. You just check this up. So if I put this n is equal to 15, you can see very clearly that the value this becomes 225 plus 75, which becomes 300. So n is equal to 15 is the answer. But however, if I want to solve it, I will write like this: minus 300 is greater than or equal to 0, or n minus n plus 20 into n minus 15 must be greater than or equal to 0. And this will happen when n is greater than or equal to 15. This will happen when n is greater than or equal to 15. So ये आ गया अपना n greater than or equal to 15. अगला क्या होगा? If 1500 seats to be arranged in the auditorium, how many seats are still left to be put after the 10th row? So after the 10th row, so you start, so 30, 40, 50, let's take 10 rows, right? How many seats are there? Number of seats, right? N10, let me say, total number of seats is equal to, or let's write it as S10. S10 is equal to first plus, what is the 10th row? We had 120. First term plus last term by 2 into the total number of terms is 10. So ये आ जाएगा अपना, this goes 5 times. So 750 seats are there. Now if I take 7 S30, S30 is now going to be nothing but S25. S25 will be nothing but the first term is 30. My last term is going to be 240. Sorry, 240 plus 30, that is 270, sorry. The last term is going to be 270 divided by 2. Right? Remember S25 is equal to 30 plus 24 into 10, that is 270. And S10 S1 is 30, right? So if I add first term plus last term by 2 into 25. So this is, we have 150 into this. So 3750. So how many more seats have to be put after the 10th row? The answer will be 3750 minus 750, which is equal to 3000 seats. If there were 17 rows in the auditorium, how many seats will be there in the middle row? So your first row, your 17th row, what is your middle row? Middle row is going to be the 9th row. So how many seats will be there in the 9th row? 30 plus 8 into 10, which is equal to 110 seats. तो ये हुआ अपना केस स्टडी का तीसरा केस. और लास्ट वाला जो केस है, this is about a beautiful thing. We all have seen airplanes flying in the sky, but might have not thought of how they actually reach the correct destination. Air traffic control is a service provided by the ground-based air traffic controllers who direct aircraft on the ground and through a given section of controlled airspace, and can provide advisory services to aircraft in non-controlled airspace. Actually, all this air traffic is managed and regulated by various using various concepts based on trigonometry and coordinate geometry. So let's see what the question is saying. At a given instance, ATC finds the angle of an elevation of a plane from a point on the ground to be at 60 degrees. So it basically looking at this and saying, okay, your angle of elevation is 60 degrees. After a flight of 30 seconds is observed, the angle of elevation changes to, so let's say this flight is moving in this direction. And you see later that it moved to 30 degrees. The height of the plane is constant. The height of the plane is at 3000 root 3 meters. Use the above information to answer the question that follow. draw a neat label diagram to show the above situation, right? So I think you can probably use something like this, make it neater. What is the distance traveled by the plane in 30 seconds? So I can say that if we find out this distance, right? And if we find out this distance, the difference between these two, let me call this as A, this is B. B minus A is equal to the distance traveled. So what is the value of A? This is 3000. So A is going to be tan 60 degrees is equal to 3000 root 3 by A. तो A का वैल्यू हो गया आपका 3000 root 3 by tan 60, that is equal to root 3. So this becomes 3000. Then what about B now? B will be equal to tan 3000 root 3 by tan 30, which is 3000 root 3 by 1 by root 3, or this is equal to 6000 meters. Hence the distance that is covered, right, in this period of time is, so it covers 6000 in 30 seconds. So the answer to this, 6000 minus 3000 in 30 seconds. So it should be 3000 meters in 30 seconds, or the speed is 100 meters per second. So ये आ जाएगा आपका 100 meters per second. And अगर इसको आप, you want to convert it into so this is 3000 by 30, 100 meters per second. And if we want to convert this into kilometers per hour, we will multiply this with a factor of 18 by 5. So this goes 20 times. So you get 360 kilometers per hour. So the next question is also very similar to this. Keeping the height constant in the flight, it is observed that after 15 root 3 minus 1 second, the angle of elevation changed to 45 degrees. How much is the distance traveled in that duration? It's very similar to what we did earlier. So, so कर ही लेते हैं. तो अगर मैं इसको अभी कहूं कि ये फ्लाइट यहाँ पे था, ये 60 है, और फ्लाइट यहाँ पे मूव हुआ, अब ये 45 है. This height is 3000 root 3 meters, which means this distance has to be 3000 root 3 meters, because tan 45 degrees. So if I label them as A, B, C, हमेशा label करो D. Okay. Sorry, this is E. So tan 45 degrees is equal to AB by BC, and tan 45 no is equal to 1, is equal to AB is 300 root 3 or 3000 root 3 by BC. So we get this also as 3000 root 3. Now what is it about C? Now if I take tan 60 degrees, that will be equal to PE by CE. So CE is going to be, P is 3000 root 3, and tan 60 degrees is going to be root 3. So this becomes 3000 meters. So the distance between these two is going to be 3000 into root 3 minus 1. So that brings us to the end of today's session. I hope you enjoyed this series. ये सारे जो हमने questions ये जो series में solve किए हैं, if you manage to do all of them, I will guarantee that you will get a good marks, very good marks in class 10th. We will, we are not leaving it here. We will have a lot more sessions going on later on. See you till then. Keep in touch with us. We'll keep putting those questions in the Telegram group. And also, please make sure that you ask us doubts. We'll probably be able to record or something, do it, and make sure that all your doubts are cleared. Thank you.